Okay, got it. Okay. Sorry, I'm messing with some audio settings here. Just found, yeah, I'm new to streaming like this. I just found a little way to lower the in-game volume below my voice. I mean, it was right there in front of my face all the time. I just didn't look at it. You know, you just ignore those bouncing green audio bars. All right, let's get started. Good morning. All right, Dab here. Let's see. We got Bash Barbarian. This is a Andariel's Puncture Penetrating Shot Rogue. Pretty much just leveled up and finished up the Iron Wolves on the Druid, switching back and forth between either being a werewolf or a werebear. You know, the two fun things. Hopefully they're viewable in-game. Thinking about just making it do stuff. Whirlwind Barbarian. I need to do some time trials later too. And the current project, Flay. Strongest bleed in the game, strongest single target in the game. Trying to find a way to clear dungeons faster though, so you can actually get to a boss to kill the boss. I always have missed equipment in the stash. I know I've gotten where this late in the season, plenty of materials, I just ignore a lot of stuff. Mainly looking for 2 or 3 star items. First world Diablo problems, right? Let's see what we got here today. I mean, I like how I'm pretty powerful right now, and I'm only level 95, not even 12 of 12 across the board. You know what? We're going to start out trying to solo a 101. I have not soloed a 101 yet. A lot of people level 100 around the world can't solo 101 yet. That's why I carry them with my Bash Barbarian. And a lot of people can, you know. They just gotta. Usually they gotta get in there with someone and you know see how stuff actually works. One thing people didn't think about with the pit is like you can't just play like full, you know, glass cannon. You'll be able to take a hit or two, no matter what class you are. Alright, so just a theory so far, but let's see. I've been getting at least a star every time I get a legendary cache, I think. See if that continues. Nope, not this time. Put a hex on the whole thing. We got some point. Oh, here we go. I have never played with the full damage bonus of the build. We're about to do that. Okay. Well, let's see. Counting up the rest of the points. I was trying to do it last night, but I had 2 other people talking to my ear while I was trying to do public math, and I just gave up. And I'm also, you know, vaping and stuff. But anyways, so pretty sure last night I was doing enough damage to clear 101. And I finally got the damage multiplier for this build. This whole build has me stacking vulnerable damage. Like double vulnerable there, double vulnerable, double vulnerable, double vulnerable, which the vulnerable tempering comes from the rogue, by the way. Rogue tempering, rogue tempering, rogue tempering. So, now I feel like I'm really lacking on some other multipliers though. So my weapons look crazy. Most people, they just have more vulnerable damage, right? But it's all about the global multipliers. Because, you know, 90 plus 10 equals 100% if you're staying in one category, but 90 times 10 is 900% if you add two categories together, right? So, like for example, on my damage with basic, using my basic skill, my flay, most important thing, right? Damage with basic increased by 45%. Well, I only have this global multiplier, as it's called, because I have this one yellow gem here. None of my gear had a bonus to basic damage, so I added that to get the global multiplier. And I think some builds online are missing that. Because, like the Flay build online doesn't use Pain Gorgers. Normally Pain Gorgers would have damage to basic. So without Pain Gorgers, you really need a yellow gem somewhere. Get that additional multiplier into, like, multiplying all these numbers in the list together if you have everything happening. As opposed to just increasing a number by itself. But with that, I'm not really happy with how low my critical strike damage is. It's only 175. Mainly because my other bleed build has like 3,000. Critical strike chance is good. Critical strike damage is low because I'm all in on vulnerable. But I'm still using it as a multiplier. That's why I have critical strike damage there and critical strike damage there. Critical strike damage is still very important for bleed because we're using the bleed passive. When causing an enemy to bleed, you have a chance equal to your critical strike chance, which mine was 37%. Everything I do is bleeding, so when I hit them, 37% chance. To increase the bleed amount, how much damage they're taking, by 140% of your critical strike damage bonus. So whatever I get my critical strike damage bonus to, multiply that times 140. So even though we're all in on vulnerable for this build, or at least from what I've been trying to look at online, I think they're mistaken with going 100% online and like just neglecting critical strike altogether. So, I mean, maybe the right answer is an item or two that has critical strike with it as well. I know we don't use the grandfather. And I keep trying to put a unique in here, either grandfather or the rupture sword. Rupture sword is super fun. You'll see in the plays. But yeah, that's a chunk of vulnerable damage and the flay duration. I just need to get better weapons. I actually had better weapons, even though these look good. But they got bricked out when I was trying to do my temperings. It's horrible. Oh yeah, all the other builds use legendary boots. I got Yen's blessings on because they have vulnerable damage and movement speed, and damage reduction from close. And it fires off free shouts. Sometimes a free rupture. Who knows? But anyways, I had a legendary slot open, so I did it. Also not happy about my damage with bleeding multiplier, right? Because I'm doing bleeding. That'd be good to get this multiplier up a little higher. Right now, I got 36 of it coming from these two gems here. But I mean, dropping 36 wouldn't be too bad compared to like if I added 2 greens to increase my critical strike more, because I'm getting more from critical strike. Next season, if I do a flay, I think I might try to go like 50% crit and 50% vulnerable, and sprinkle in some damage over time and basic. I don't know. That's why I was wanting to work on it this season. Alright, what time is it? 10:08. There's a hell tide that just started. Could jump into that. But I am mostly concerned about pits and progression with this character. I know a lot of stuff's not unlocked. need to... I thought I transmogged stuff. Why is it like that? I'm running Marrow from the Season of Blood. Much better. I'll have a camera up eventually. Let's see. Hello. See if anybody invites me thinking I need to be carried. It's always fun. Alright, so what would help me the most? I mean, Holy Bolts is amazing no matter where you go. Right? You can't go wrong with Holy Bolts. But for this build, I could really use a lot more max life. And I have a lot. But the build is all about you sack bleed and then you overpower with rupture, right? And yeah, those guaranteed overpowers based on your life total. Very consistent damage throughout an entire run. That's where a lot of our AoE and crowd clearing that comes from. Alright, I'll start that up. Max life. Easy to craft. I got a lot more in other characters too. Because I don't use max life on other characters. Maybe this is where all my max life potions go. Yeah. Alright, I am in over my head. Here we go. Alright, stuff's happening. Yeah, that's very nice to see and encouraging. It is really missing. Yeah, it's like they became... Just trying to figure out what was going on there. Should have paid attention to the fight. So why did the other ones just stop getting... I had some stuff kicking. Yeah. Do it. That's the one thing I don't like about this version of the charge. Before we have 100% uptime on Berserk. I talked about having all the global multipliers go. Berserking triggers these multipliers. If I had the Pain Gorgers on, that would at least be echoing some of this flay damage. Ready for this yet. I could hit my head against the wall some, but that's not how it's supposed to go in here. What is happening? That's, a lot of people have been reporting that on servers too, where it's like you should be swinging, but your character's just like stands there staring at stuff. Alright. Well, I need some pit gear, so I am going to run some pits with my bash barb. You're going to see what that looks like. Oh, I don't need to socket anything. everything I had going on here. Alright, I'm going to finish this stream with running pit or two. Maybe one, maybe two. But I already took my medicine earlier and I need to eat some breakfast and still get a shower. So I'm going to run a pit, then do that. And then I think I'm going to give a full breakdown on how this Barbarian is set up. Because it's built different. Just trying to get myself prepared for how I'm about to play. Been playing different Barbarians. Anybody that's done that before, any multiple builds of the same class or something, you hop between characters and you go in a dungeon and you're hitting the wrong buttons everywhere. Alright, so this one, yeah, we're going to go Holy Bolts because I'm overpowered and I'm going to take advantage of it. Roll out. Here's level 101 pit. Now, most people, they recommend the two-handed blunt. It does do more damage. I can kill bosses faster with it. If I'm doing Tormented Bosses, I'll switch to it. But playstyle-wise, it's so much faster and more fluid, especially for this level where it's easy to do dual wield. Roar. Here we go. You bleed to death, and you bleed to death. I just do what I want to, where I want to, whenever I want to. My highest clear within time is 123. My highest clear outside of time is 124. Although when I did that 124 attempt and I was about 2 minutes behind. I hate those lasers. 2 minutes behind on killing the boss. Got to the boss with several minutes left. Man, boss took forever. Anyways. I didn't have my most optimized DPS build on. It's kind of just doing my fun stuff like I like to. But I don't know. I'm excited to see how stuff keeps progressing each season. Like, man, this playstyle is just so fluid and feels so fun. Even that flay. Now on a boss, the flay is pretty straightforward. It's, you know, just kill them fast and make them dead. But yeah, getting to the boss is just a pain. Die. Come on. It's like I just randomly stopped swinging for no reason. Hello. Oh, come on. That should have jumped over. Trying to have fun. Game's like, no fun for you. Got a little hung up there. Just trying to gather them up a little better. Because, man, this build can have a lot of fun with crowds, especially with the Holy Bolts on. Oh, Holy Bolt scales off your character's power. And it's like the game knows I'm overpowered, so the Holy Bolts are overpowered. I was overpowered before I had Ubers too. Ubers just, you know, I was, my highest clear was 119 before the Ubers. For my first Uber, I cleared 119 with a non-bleed bash version similar to this. Non-bleed bash, and it used the berserking passive instead of the lead passive. Very similar setup. All those passives and the grandfather and Ubers did was change how damage is applied. But it adds a little bigger multiplier so it can push higher. Yeah. Coming in like a wrecking ball, people. Oh, look at that. Werewolf. You walk in, there's a delay and no bubbles in the middle, it's a werewolf. You walk in, there's bubbles in the middle, it's the one everyone hates. Ursula. Uh-oh. Ah! I win. Alright. I'm going to stop the stream. I'm going to respond to my friend who you saw her playing with us last night, if you were watching. And yeah, I'm going to find some food, wash my body, and I'll be back.